The local area coordinator is the person that's going to give you the most information. The planner is the person who's just basically going to say, well, what you're asking for, is it something that we can fund? That's all they're going to do. They're going to see, does it fit in my box? Okay, it's a pretty simple job I've got.
Who employs the planner?
The planner's the NDIA, and to the best of my knowledge, the way it's a bit of, it hasn't completely agreed upon yet, but the local area coordinators should be independent. Okay, so they should be an independent organisation that runs those LACs. So
how accessible are planners going to be?
In that last year, very inaccessible, I would say. They're taking steps to try to make that easier. So they're saying things like the local area coordinators may be able to submit plans for you. That would essentially triple the amount of planners.
Local area coordinators of who?
For the NDIA, yeah, but they will be contracted by the NDIA rather than employees, the way I understand it. So, yeah, so that should help with that. You'll also see things like, and this is why we don't go into a huge amount of detail about planning, because it's going to change. I'd say they'll probably allow you to do it online, and for you guys it's probably fine. You know, like for someone with intellectual disability that would be really hard. So there'll be people that will have to see a planner. Some people can probably do that sort of planning work themselves. So I'd say they'll allow that to happen as well. You may be able to do it by mail, send it in that way. So you'll see some changes to planning to help streamline that last year, I'd say. But it's going to be bumpy, you're right. You're right to be nervous about it, I think everybody is. That's why having this information is so important, because the better the supports you can get first up, the better. Because if you're in that last year, by the time it takes you to see a planner, and then if you need to go and see them again, you know, like it would, yeah, you probably could be waiting up to 8 or 9 months to see the planner again. So try to get as much right the first time, which is why if you're prepared for it, you'll be able to get a pretty good plan straight up and be fairly happy with it. Minor changes you'll be able to do over the phone. You'll be able to ring them and just make a minor change, I'd say. But if you've made a major mistake and you need to change the plan completely, I think that would be quite, yeah, that would be really disadvantageous if you like. I mean, you'd be waiting, I'd say you'd be waiting a bit of time to see a planner last year. So yeah, that's the planning process really in a nutshell. It's going to be pretty straightforward. You know, it's really just a matter of, you know, that planner is just going to look at what fits in that box. Planning can be done at home, it can be done at their office, it can be done at a service, anywhere, coffee shop. The planning location is flexible. We used to show the video for planning. They call it a planning conversation. Makes it sound like you all sit around holding hands singing Kumbaya. But the families we've talked to in the trial sites have said it's not a conversation, it's a negotiation. It's friendly, it's not a hostile one, but it's still a negotiation. You need to know how to advocate for yourself. You've got to be able to say the right things, and you've got to make your case. You can't just walk in there and say, well, you could. You could walk in and say, oh, I want this X, Y, Z, and they'll say, okay, so tell me why you need that. Well, I don't know, seems like a good idea. If you did something like that, they're likely to go, I don't know. You've got to be able to paint that picture. If you provide the support for me, this is what's going to enable me to do. I'm going to be more independent. I don't have to have someone to come around and, you know, whatever. You just paint the picture. And it's most of the time when we talk to families, you know,
so if you if you went to it, let's say if these young had to do a certain exercise to enable you to be independent, to bend down, take out the rubbish, is that different to saying, okay, it's going to help my mobility?
No, if you were to say it's capacity, it's building your capacity, if you needed that movement and some sort of exercise therapy program would help you to achieve that, they could do it a number of ways. They can get someone to come around and teach you and show you the safest way to do that and learn how to do that, and to, yeah, so they're building your capacity. They want to make sure you've got the skills and the knowledge to know how to do it. So, example, the gentleman I was talking about at the trial site, he recently lost his mobility. So he had to learn a whole host of new ways to maintain upper body strength. So he had a whole year's worth of funding to work one-on-one with someone to do that, and also to teach him how to continue to do that. So they don't just come in and work with you to do it, they'll actually have someone come in to train you so that you know the best way to do it in the future. So you can continue to do that work. That's capacity building.
Okay.
So you can ask for that. And you say that to the planner, so you're clear, you know that by doing that, they're building your capacity. They're giving you the knowledge for you to be able to do those exercises yourself to maintain and keep that for as long as possible. That's a huge part of it. Yeah. Keeps you independent. you know, building capacity.
Because you don't even thinking about those things, you just do them.
Yeah.
But something so little keeps me independent.
That's right. Yeah.
But I still have to do a lot of work to maintain that.
And that's all you need to say to a planner, honestly. I mean, this is the thing when people talk to us. There's no real fear. I mean, because it's just we're here to help. Whereas they sit down in front of the planner and they're like they get all nervous. Don't just tell them exactly what it is and lay it out, spell it out. They're not there to judge you. They're not there. They're just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it ticks all their boxes. You talk using the right words, building more capacity, helping you stay independent. Yeah, and they'll go, yeah, that's a reasonable request. Yeah, and they'll pop it into your plan.
Cool.